Hi, I'm Amir from Eternal Jerusalem. Today I want to talk to you about one of the most, you can say, biggest impacts I had on me as a child. You know, I'm completely circular, but most people don't know that I come from a mega Orthodox Jewish family. I mean, the black with the beards and everything. So I want to share with you one of the experiences that really defined my beliefs in life, and I think that you will find it very fascinating. When I was very young, my father took me to Jerusalem at dawn, and it was quite a ride. I was 15, 16 at the time, and we learned, you know, the secrets of Judaism from a rabbi in one of the old, in Nachlaot, in one of the old neighborhoods of Jerusalem. You know, it looks like something from the Bible, and the teacher also, you know, older than Jesus. And it was fascinating. And when you learn Hebrew, biblical Hebrew, and you understand the Bible, the way it was written, it changes everything. What I'm going to talk to you about today is how come the Bible starts with the B, Bet, the second letter in the Jewish alphabet, and not with Aleph, A, the first letter of the alphabet. In Hebrew, the first three words of the Bible is Bereshit bara Elohim. Bereshit is Genesis, bara is created, and Elohim is God. But it's not just God, it's not just the word the Lord. Elohim is one of the, perhaps the most holy of all of God's names. You know, Hashem and Jehovah, there are a lot of names. And there is a question. When people start to investigate deeper inside the Bible, one of the first questions that arrive is how come the Bible starts with a B and not with an A, not with the first alphabet? Does that mean that there was something before? Why does the Bible start with the second? Now that is a very serious question, and some say that those three first words of the Bible, they hold the secret for the entire universe. How is that possible? In those three videos I'm about to make now, I will show you the secrets of the Jewish biblical alphabet and the great power of the Jewish letters. Hi, welcome back. I am Amir from Eternal Jerusalem. In the last video I promised you the secrets of the universe in just 3 words. So, what is it? That was a big promise. Forgive me that I'm reading from the screen. I don't remember everything by heart. Sorry. Well, the 3 words are Bereshit bara Elohim. In the beginning, God created. But in Hebrew, it doesn't sound the same as the English translation. Bereshit comes from the source Bet Resh Aleph, bara, Bereshit. Now, Bereshit is Genesis. Bereshit bara. Oh. Suddenly, the word created, in the beginning, God created, it's the same source. In the beginning, and creation has the same source. It's exactly the same in Hebrew. Bereshit bara Elohim. Now Elohim, the third word, Elohim is God's most holy name. You know, there are so many names, Jehovah and so on, the Lord. Elohim is the most holy. Now Elohim also starts with an A, Aleph, the first letter of the alphabet, but it's not in the beginning, it's in the end. Bereshit bara Elohim. Now you must say, okay, that was very interesting. So, there's one more thing. The source, Bet Resh Aleph, bara, is also the source of the word briut, health. Now, what does that got to do with anything? I mean, in the beginning, maybe. Creation, the beginning, you know, I can find the logic in that, the source, the connection. But health? What does health get to do with it? Well, it's got everything to do with it. Now let me explain one of the most fascinating explanations that I got as a kid, in Jerusalem, as I was learning from a very old rabbi. Why does the Bible start with a B? First of all, let me tell you, Jewish, all the secret Torah and the layers of all kind of hidden messages. It's not binding like, let's say, the Ten Commandments or something like that. I mean, even if you think that you understand how to interpret the Torah and the Bible in your own way, you can't. I mean, yes, there are many people who can understand deeper meaning in the Bible, but those people are like Moses and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Jesus, and it's not just like anyone can go and interpret. So everything I'm telling you now, you should, say, that is interesting. I feel I have a better understanding of God's creation now, but still, what your pastor says, that is the truth. You do not go and start, making your own version of the Bible. That is not the point at all. So, that being said, why does the Bible start with a B? Think about it. What is actually written is Bereshit bara, in the beginning God created. Which means that those people 3,000 years ago understood that before God there was nothing. There was no material. Matter did not exist. Space and time did not exist. Many people think that the Jewish interpretation of God is everywhere all the time, means that He's physically all around you. That is not exactly the proper meaning. It means that God has no time and has no space. Now, it's not the same. Can you even comprehend what I've just said? God lives without time and without space, and therefore He is everywhere all the time. In the beginning, there was only spirit. There was no matter. Now, these people understood that while living in a cave, right? Surrounded by Greeks and pagans and idol worshippers, people who actually believed that Olympus has gods and they're like big people. And the Romans had statues and the statue was a god. And in those times, suddenly people came and said, no, God is not like a big man. God is an entity without time and without space. He's pure energy, He's spirit, He's not even energy. They call it the great wind. But note that all the big rabbis say the great wind or the great light is just a metaphor because we don't have any better word to describe it. Saying that God is light, that would make Him matter. Because what is light? Light is something that is projected, hits something, goes back to us, and we can see it, which means that it is matter. God is not matter. The great light is not light. It's just a metaphor for some kind of energy that they just couldn't describe 3,000 years ago, even more. Personally, to me, it's just astonishing. Now, why does Bria, which means also the beginning, and creation, which means that there was nothing before God, and suddenly there was a universe. This is physics that just today science is beginning to understand and know that it is true. They understood it so many years ago. I still can't even think of how. However, for some strange reason, they did get to connect to some big knowledge reservoir. Everyone will give it any reason as he pleases. However, they did understand the real structure of the universe. They did understand that God is beyond space and time. They did understand that in order to be one with God, your will and God's will has to be the same, because God has no body. Okay, so God doesn't have a body. Maybe they understood that. And, good for them. It's very progressive thinking. But still, why do they connect creation and beginning to health? Why do they have the same source? Well, the explanation is, God created the world in a certain way. That was the beginning of everything. And that is God's will. The beginning is creation. And why is it health? God's creation is nature. If you want to live and have good health, you need to connect to God's will. You need to live in a more natural way. You need to understand creation. You need to understand the words of God. And you need to connect. Why? God is spirit. He is desire. It's in the way we can comprehend, of course, with the lack of better words. He is will. And we both have the will and the ability to decide and think, but we also have a body. Now, the body separates us from God. If there was no body, imagine that, then what is remaining is God's will versus our will. And if you want to be a part of God, all you need to do, in theory, is to make your will, your spiritual growth, your spiritual status, as close as you can to creation, to God. Now, that is not exactly how most people, interpret what is God and what is creation and what is our role in this world. But basically, some Jews believe that the reason man is not a robot, man has the will and the ability to understand, better yet, the ability to optimize, the ability to grow. Now, we are not supposed to grow technologically, although this is happening. We are supposed to grow spiritually. We are a vessel that is meant to grow. We are meant to become closer and closer to God. You want to have good health, you need to be closer to God. You need to understand how to spiritually grow. And you have the guidelines. Nature is there. And today, thank God, we have the Bible to show us the way. There is a guideline. And if you want to have good health, and that's just not physical health, it means relationship and love. If you want to be whole, a man that has bad relationship couldn't possibly have good health. You will not believe how many people have cured themselves from a disease like cancer. I have seen it myself. I'm very serious. I will show this to you in different videos, in other videos. People have healed themselves only by reconnecting to the way God intended them to live. What does Jesus say? Let go of your pride. Let go of your hate. Love. Forgive and forget. Take it off your mind. You don't need this burden. Connect to a higher spiritual level. That is the meaning. But still, we did not answer a very important question. Why does the Bible begin with a B and not an A? Well, I've heard many interpretations of that. Let me give you one of the interpretations that I liked the best. It is because there was something before creation. There was God. The Bible is not the beginning. That's how they explain it. The Bible came second. The world, the universe came second. There was something before the Bible. There was God. And He is not the Bible, and He is not even matter. He is some kind of spirit above or outside space and time, and suddenly in one move He created the world. At one stroke, like that. And now we have the universe. Now we have the Bible. Now we have creation. It did not exist before. God existed before. They understood that more than 3,000 years ago. How is that even possible? I mean, what can influence someone who doesn't even know how to read and write to get such a profound understanding of the structure of the universe? What kind of knowledge base did they were able to connect to? Well, we don't know, because not many of those great geniuses exist today. But we do every now and then stumble upon another big spiritual leader who takes us one step further. Now, I want to tell you something. This can only be interpreted if you know the real biblical Hebrew. And if you think that those 3 words are the only cipher that exists in the Bible, that's just the 3 first words. Trust me, there's a lot more. Your name has an intent, has a meaning, has power. In fact, they say that the world was created with a word, with letters. They have power. And we can understand this power. You know, a while ago, we had a big health issue, let's say, in the family, something very serious. And we went to a rabbi and a Kabbalah expert. And he said, look, within a few months, he gave us a date. It will all pass. You just need to do one thing. You need to change his name. Take out one of the letters, because now it will have a different spiritual stamp. Now, just for you to understand how serious it was, in the hospital where we took our son, they said, listen, we're making this a case study because we don't even know what's wrong with him. This is unique and rare. We can't find any documentation in the world. And just as the rabbi said, after several months, suddenly the disease started to, pull back. I'm not sure how the proper English term for it is, but suddenly he gained his health back and he was getting stronger and stronger. And you're talking about, a 7-month-old baby who was connected to all kinds of, pipes, and every few minutes the alarm sounded. He had to be immediately put in oxygen tent, and not very pleasant, and without a solution. And just as he said, everything worked out for the best. Today he doesn't even remember there was something wrong with him. Now, was it the changing of the name? We don't know, but the Jews believe that words and letters have a lot of impact. And if you really want to understand the teachings of Jesus in depth like you've never encountered before, I strongly recommend that you take the course of Biblical Hebrew. To me, when I first saw it, and I met them, by complete chance. It was something about my line of work that I came to their office. They teach from Jerusalem in a video conference to all the world. They have a virtual classroom. It is two-way. You can talk And it's nice, because you can really connect not just to the professors and the, world leading scholars, but to Israel, it's being broadcast live from Israel, you get the Israeli vibe. But I met them in near Tel Aviv, their offices in Ramat Gan, and I was so impressed. And I thought that I really need to share this enthusiasm that I have from them. So I have a link down below. Click it, call them, check it out for yourself, see if it's for you. I think that you are about to embark on a wild discovery of spirituality. That's how I think. That's a gift that my father gave to me when I was younger. So anyway, I would appreciate if you share this link. And I'm Amir from Eternal Jerusalem. In the next video, I want to share with you one of Judaism's most holy and well-known symbols, the Magen David, the Star of David. What is the meaning of the Star of David, the spiritual meaning? Why is it the way it is? I'm Amir from Eternal Jerusalem.